Charlie Munger, the late vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett's longtime business partner, once said, "Find a way to get $100,000. After that, you can ease off the gas a little bit." It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Alex is sitting at his kitchen table, laptop open, the glow of the screen reflecting off his tired eyes. He refreshes his investment app for the third time tonight. The number stares back at him. $98,412. He's close. So close he can almost feel it. But here's what most people don't know about that number. $100,000 in liquid savings isn't just a milestone. It's a filter, a great filter. The kind that separates the vast majority of people from a very small minority who will ever experience what happens on the other side. Only about 12% of Americans ever cross this line. Think about that. 12%. Most people will work their entire adult lives, contribute to retirement accounts, pay their bills on time, do everything they're supposed to do, and never see six figures in savings that they can actually access. This is a wealth acceleration point that 90% of people never reach. This isn't a story about getting rich. It's a story about what happens when you finally break through a threshold that most people never reach. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. Before $100,000, your financial life feels like you're fighting for oxygen. Every month is a battle. Every unexpected expense is a threat. You're doing everything right, and it still feels like you're losing ground. But after $100,000, something shifts. The math starts to feel like it's finally on your side. So why does the first 100,000 feel so brutal? And why does the next 100,000 happen faster? If you've never saved $100,000, it's not because you're lazy, it's not because you're irresponsible, it's because you're trapped in what physicists would call a gravity well. And until you build enough momentum to escape it, the rules work against you. But let's go back to where this journey started. Let me introduce you to Alex. Alex is 33. He works a decent job, not prestigious, not underpaid, just normal. He's not some finance genius. He's not disciplined to the point of being a monk. He's just a person who decided a few years ago that he was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. He started saving. He tracked his spending. He opened an investment account and put money into index funds every month. And yet, every time his car makes a weird noise, every time his landlord mentions rent increases, every time his company talks about restructuring, he feels it. That low-grade panic, that tightness in his chest. Because right now, Alex has about $4,000 in his emergency fund and $72,000 in his investment account. He's doing well, better than most. But he's still fragile. Here's the reality. The median 30-something in America has less than $8,000 saved. $8,000? That's not enough to weather a job loss. It's not enough to handle a medical emergency. It's barely enough to cover a security deposit and first month's rent if you need to move suddenly. Alex knows this. He sees his friends living the same way he used to, one bad month away from catastrophe. He remembers what that felt like, the constant mental load of running worst-case scenarios. He's not trying to get rich, he just wants the kind of money that makes problems smaller, the kind of savings that turns a crisis into an inconvenience. So he keeps going, month after month, watching the number climb, slowly. But here's what's making it harder than it should be. The goalpost moved. $100,000 today is not what $100,000 was 20 years ago. This isn't your parents' $100,000. The world got more expensive while the milestone stayed the same. What used to represent real breathing room, real security, real freedom, now requires a higher number just to achieve the same feeling. Inflation didn't just make groceries cost more, it made the entire scoreboard obsolete. Alex feels this every time he budgets. He's responsible, he meal preps, he doesn't waste money, he lives modestly. And yet, his rent takes a bigger percentage of his income than it did 5 years ago. His health insurance premiums crept up. His car insurance doubled after one fender bender that wasn't even his fault. He looks at his spreadsheet and thinks, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Why does it still feel like I'm falling behind? It's like the rules changed mid-game and nobody sent him the memo. And then there are the leaks. Not the ones you'd expect. Alex doesn't buy expensive coffee. He doesn't eat out every night. He's not irresponsible with his money, but he subscribes to things, modern things, necessary things. An AI writing tool for his side project, $19 a month. Cloud storage because the free tier ran out, $12 a month. The design platform for his freelance work, $29 a month, and a productivity app that genuinely helps him stay organized. $9 a month, project management software. $49 for the pro version because the free version doesn't cut it anymore. Each one made sense when he signed up. Each one felt like an investment, and honestly they are. He uses them. They're not frivolous. But when he looks at his bank statement, there's a whole section of tiny recurring charges that add up to hundreds of dollars a month. And the worst part? He cancels one subscription and discovers 3 more he forgot about are about to renew. It's not one big villain, it's 100 small cuts. And then there's the creeping costs. Alex notices it at the grocery store first. Same items, same routine, slightly higher total. He can't point to one specific thing. It's not like eggs suddenly cost $50. It's just everything, everywhere, a little bit more expensive than it was 6 months ago. He hears people talk about tariffs on the news and tunes it out because it sounds political. But costs don't hit instantly. They arrive in waves. Old inventory sells out. New inventory comes in at new prices. Everyday costs creep up in delayed cycles that you don't notice until you do. It's not a disaster. It's not even dramatic. It's just constant, subtle pressure, like trying to fill a bucket with a slow leak at the bottom. This is where most people stop. This is the gravity well. Alex is saving. He's investing. He's doing everything right. But most of the growth in his account still comes from his own contributions. His investments are growing, sure, but not enough to feel like they're doing real work. Every setback, every unexpected bill, every month where he has to pull back on contributions, it feels like it resets his progress. He's pushing a boulder uphill, and the hill keeps moving, but he's getting close to something he doesn't fully understand yet. He's getting close to the point where the money might start doing real work. It's late again. Another Tuesday night. Alex is back at the kitchen table. He opens his spreadsheet. Nothing fancy, just a tracker he built to log his monthly contributions and compare them to his portfolio's growth. He updates the numbers. Monthly contribution, $800. Portfolio growth this month, $793. He stares at it. Wait, he scrolls back through the last few months, checks the math again. His investment gains this month almost matched what he put in. For the first time in years of saving, the money he contributed and the money his portfolio earned were nearly the same. He leans back in his chair. The refrigerator hums in the background. A car passes outside. This is it. This is the moment he's been waiting for without knowing it. Before this, saving felt like pushing. Like every dollar was a result of his effort alone. But now, for the first time, the math is becoming an engine. His money is starting to work. He feels something he hasn't felt in years. Not relief, not quite excitement. Something quieter, something like belief. But then, 2 weeks later, his car breaks down. Not a small fix, not something he can patch with duct tape and hope. The transmission is failing. The quote comes back. $3,200. He sits in the mechanic's waiting room staring at his phone. His emergency fund could cover it, barely, but that would wipe it out. And if he pulls from his investment account, he'd be undoing years of progress. He feels the old panic rising, that familiar tightness. The math he just celebrated suddenly feels fragile. He imagines the withdrawal screen, imagines watching that number drop, imagines starting over. He doesn't sleep that night, but the next day he makes calls, he negotiates, he finds a cheaper mechanic, he picks up an extra freelance gig, he sells some old equipment he wasn't using, and he patches it together. It's not elegant, it's not easy, but he doesn't touch the investment account, and when the dust settles, he's still on track. 2 months later, it happens. Alex refreshes his app one morning before work. The number loads, $100,147. He doesn't jump, he doesn't celebrate, he just exhales long and slow, like he's been holding his breath for years and finally remembered how to let it out. 6 digits. He did it. But here's what he realizes in that moment. This isn't just a number. It's not just proof that he saved money. It's proof that he can build something, that he can stick to a plan even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when the world throws obstacles in his way. And more than that, something fundamental has changed. Before this, his investment gains were invisible. A few $100s here and there didn't move the needle. It didn't feel real. But now, at $100,000, a 1% gain is $1,000. A 10% year is $10,000. The same market movements that used to be background noise are now significant. The math didn't change, But the magnitude did, and the moment he crosses that line, something else shifts. Not just in his account, in the way the world feels. The visuals in his mind change, the tightness loosens, the clutter clears. It's like stepping out of a dark, cramped room into open air. This isn't the finish line, it's the launch pad. 3 months after crossing 100,000, Alex's laptop dies. Not slowly, not with warning, just dead. A year ago, this would have been a crisis. He would have panicked. He would have spent days researching the cheapest possible replacement, agonizing over every dollar, maybe even trying to limp along with a borrowed device. But now, he opens his budget, sees he has room, and orders a solid mid-range laptop, not top of the line, not a flex, just a good tool that will last. It arrives in 2 days. He sets it up. Life continues. It's not that he's suddenly rich, it's that he's no longer fragile. That's the difference, and it shows up in other ways too. At work, his manager pulls him aside. There's a new role opening up. Different team. Slightly better pay. But it would mean learning new systems, dealing with uncertainty, starting over in some ways. A year ago, Alex would have said no. Too risky. Too unstable. Better to stay where it's safe. But now he listens, he considers, he negotiates, and he takes the job, not because he's desperate, but because he can afford to take a calculated risk. He's not trapped anymore. He no longer has to live on rice and beans or work every weekend. He still budgets, he still tracks his spending, but he's not white-knuckling every dollar. He's not running worst-case scenarios in his head every time he buys groceries. Charlie Munger was right. After 100,000, Alex can finally ease off the gas. He upgrades his phone when the old one finally gives out. He books a weekend trip to visit a friend he hasn't seen in years. He replaces his worn-out desk chair with one that doesn't make his back hurt. These aren't extravagant purchases, they're just the small quality-of-life improvements he'd been putting off for years, and now he can, because he has breathing room. The same bills that used to feel like threats now feel like logistics. The same unexpected expenses that used to derail his month now get absorbed without drama. It's not that his life is suddenly perfect. He still works, he still has stress, he still has goals he hasn't reached. But he shifted from one mode of existence to another, from reaction to planning, from survival to strategy. He has bandwidth now, mental space, the ability to think beyond next month, and that changes everything. So, what does $100,000 actually represent? It's not wealth, it's not retirement, it's not "I made it." It's escape velocity. It's the point where you stop living in emergency mode and start living on purpose. It's proof you can build discipline, that you can stick to a plan even when nobody's watching, and it's the point where your money finally starts contributing meaningful momentum, where the math becomes your ally instead of your opponent. Alex isn't the same person he was 3 years ago. Not because he has money, but because he built the habits. He proved to himself that he could do hard things. And now, instead of constantly reacting to whatever life throws at him, he gets to plan. He gets to choose. He gets to take risks that might pay off instead of just avoiding risks that might hurt him. Before, every decision was made from fear of running out, fear of falling behind, fear of one bad month destroying everything. Now, he makes decisions from a place of calm, not because he has all the answers, but because he has options. That's what $100,000 bought him, not security, not wealth, room to breathe, and room to build. The first 100,000 is the hardest and most important money you'll ever save. It's a tipping point where you stop pushing the boulder and start riding the snowball. The screen fades. The numbers settle. The noise quiets. Alex closes his laptop. The kitchen is still. The night is quiet. He doesn't know what comes next. But for the first time in a long time, he's not afraid to find out. Because he's not trapped in the gravity well anymore. He's finally free, and that's priceless.